all starts off with a mystery that is Cicada 3301. All the way back from 2012 to 2017, the anonymous group sent clues and sets of puzzles on their Twitter account, until 2013 when the song The Instar Emergence was found. The original file, when extracted from a CD ISO download, had a simple name defined by 3 numbers, 761.mp3. Playing the audio as it is, you cannot really notice any clues that could be given to you. However, after performing the action of hex dumping, where you simply display the contents of a file in hexadecimal values or ASCII, you get this very interesting output. Like the Instar tunneling to the surface, we must shed our own circumferences, find the divinity within, and emerge. Besides the beautiful poetry, this line doesn't seem to ring any bells. The line also came with a parable number, which its purpose is yet to be found. What's incredibly interesting is that the original file is 2 minutes and 47 seconds long, which converted to seconds is 167 seconds long. And if you have a very noticing eye, you can notice that the file title is these numbers in reverse. What is also incredibly interesting is that the tempo changes 3 times throughout the whole song. The song starts off at around 135 BPM, accelerates to around 145, and eventually slows down to 125. After stumbling into walls after walls, an IRC user finally found something. He used the XR operation on the song with the file produced by following the instructions on the Twitter account. And after doing so, he got a JPEG file which displayed a rune table named Gematria Primus. This table helps solvers get on with the puzzle. Knowing that the progression of the project was mainly relying on the Twitter accounts of the 3301 starters, which like to use these long prime numbers as names, I tried doing a quick Twitter search using this parable number, but I ran into nothing. Funnily enough though, if you reverse the parable number, you get a prime number, which Cicada is most known to use, though sadly, this also leads to nowhere. What is incredibly interesting, but at the same time incredibly confusing, is that if you actually use the Gematria Primus rune table, convert all of the letters of the output message to their correct values, multiply the separate line values with each other, you get the exact same parable number as listed above the original message. And not only that, in 2014, when Cicada came back to the internet with a book of 57 encrypted pages, if you use the rune table on the very last page of the book, you get the same exact quote of the MP3 output message. What is this supposed to mean? Frankly said, I have no clue. Having examined everything in the song, let's move on to some possible speculations that the song can tell us. Please note that these are only theories and aren't backed up by proof. One thing that isn't correlated with the song, but the whole mystery in general, is that anyone who is behind the Cicada project is constantly using prime numbers, going from the song's length, title, reverse parable number, to the famous number of the project itself, 3301. They also like to use primes such as emerps, which are primes that when reversed produce a different prime. But one thing that I found to be even more interesting and clever is the intro of this song. This specific weird sound effect is the sound of multiple cicadas hatching their shells, which I think was an incredibly sneaky little way to indicate that the 3301 project isn't being done alone. But let's now get into some incredibly interesting points. One incredibly interesting speculation is that this track was made all the way back in the 1980s. I found this point out from a YouTuber called Stoic Production, so I'm going to let him do the talking.
That was then transferred onto cassette tape, and then it was archived from cassette to computer with the CRT sometime in the 90s. And the reason why I think it's in the 90s, because it is at 192 kilobits per second. So it's not 320. So we have to kind of go into the mind of who kind of made this, how expensive hard drive space was back then. So a lot of the songs, late 90s, this was like high fidelity. 192 is essentially CD quality, so that's why it's at 192.
He also pointed out that the intro of the song isn't actually part of the song, but in fact was added in.
You'll notice we get that. And this frequency is consistent throughout the entire track. This right here is this line that we're looking at throughout the entire track. So the cicada sound is not part of the original composition.
To leave things simple, this song, although solved to the point of being able to progress further into the mystery, still has so many things left unknown. Going from the parable number, the Gematria Primus rune table, to the quote output message. As of 2022, the Cicada 3301 mystery has yet to be solved, with the main unsolved target being the 57-page encrypted book Liber Primus. But as far as the song, only time will tell if something has been missed or not. I want to quickly go ahead and shout out all of these people that actually made these explanations and discoveries, because if it wasn't for them, this video would have definitely not been made. And if you're curious or have some knowledge on how to help solve the Cicada 3301 mystery, links to more information and all the sources will be down below. But if you want to see more music content like this, then please click the notification bell and subscribe button down below. And if you got any questions that you want to ask me, feel free to leave them down in the comments below. But this was the unsolved mystery of the Instar Emergence.
Welcome to Chuckle Sandwich. The Queen is dead.